I now request our divisional chairman, Professor Vikram Jayaram, to say a few words.
Thank you, Santi. Good evening or good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the Institute, let me welcome you all. Well, you've already begun this workshop on experimental mechanics in honor of Professor K.R. Yogendra Simha. I'm not sure I enjoy speaking on such an occasion to an audience that I can neither see nor hear. But these are strange times, and it's very strange to be speaking about a friend and colleague just before the technical talks rather than over a glass of beer in the evening, as he himself would have preferred. But as I said, these are unusual times. I think the advantage of such a remote event is that perhaps so many of you who would otherwise not be able to travel have been able to attend and will be able to listen to some excellent talks over these 3 days. Simha joined us in 1987, just a couple of years before I did. Incidentally, I've always thought of him as Simha, and I hope he'll permit me to refer to him this way. Soon after I came to Bangalore, I was looking for a flat, and I ran into an estate agent who, when he realized I was from ISC, asked me if I knew Yogi Bear, who was a professor in engineering and had been at school with him. It took me some weeks to figure out who he was referring to. But anyways, I was saying Simha joined ISC more than 3 decades ago and brought with him the field of experimental mechanics. I don't need to tell this audience the importance of this field. He brought with him the experience of working with L.S. Srinath, another doyen of mechanics, and the expertise gained from his time at Maryland, where he did his PhD. Since there are many of you who are more familiar with his contributions to mechanics and will doubtless speak about it, I will not dwell on them. For those of us who knew him, Simha was a multifaceted personality, and many of the past speakers have alluded to this, who served the Institute community in many ways. He chaired 2 other departments, namely management and consultancy. The invitation to chair a different department from the one to which you belong is usually a compliment, but not an entirely enviable request. And it's a tribute to people's perceptions of your people handling skills. You also ran the Gymkhana and was involved in the Spick McKay cultural activity. And years ago, we have shared many Carnatic movie concerts in Seshatripuram College. I imagine that he missed heading mechanical engineering because whenever the opportunity arose, he was busy doing something else, including bowling a mean bouncer on the cricket pitch. Simha displayed a healthy interest in topics outside his direct field of interest. This is perhaps the true sign of an academic, not too obsessed with your own field. In my own department, and I'm in materials engineering, he was one of the few people from outside who could be relied upon to show up and participate in seminars. Students could count on him to attend their talks, and his questions at comprehensive exams were intelligent and tough, but always sympathetically delivered. And I think that's a hallmark of his character. His brand of humor was eclectic and somewhat elliptic. It took you a moment to figure out what he meant sometimes before you split your sides. Coming back to mechanics, only last year the annual meeting of the Premier Mechanics Society in India was held at ISC, when the whole field was exhaustively analyzed in the context of the needs of the next 50 years. I think it's a fact that experimental mechanics has perhaps diminished a bit over the last decade at ISC, and we're very pleased that one of our latest additions to the field, Ram Charan, has now taken up the mantle. We look forward to a resurgence of this field in domains such as robotics and biology. And in conclusion, it's a pleasure to congratulate and thank Professor Simha for his contributions to ISC over the years, and to look forward to a continued engagement with him as he begins his second innings. Thank you. Thank you all.